Okay, happy Thursday, everyone. I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended the talk this week, the Ecuador Experience talk, and to everyone who's been watching the replay as well and sending me messages and just commenting. I really appreciate it, and it's been so awesome. So, what I wanted to share today was quite funny because this morning I was listening to a recording and it kind of ties in with my trip. So, this is a little extension on some of the stuff that I said during my share this week. Okay, so part of what I shared with you guys was about how being in the jungle made you rethink what you actually need in life. Okay, so the simplicity of life became very, very apparent. And so it was very obvious that a lot of the stuff and the rituals and the ways that we live are basically made up by us to make us feel more safe or just to make us feel more, present or whatever. So we make up these needs and these ideas, right? So an example would be like, I need to have my coffee every morning. And so a lot of the people in the trip, because we didn't have coffee, was like, oh my God, I don't need coffee, and things like that. So I've been experimenting a lot since I got home with what do I actually need um, versus like what is it just that I'm like used to? This is just my habit that I've literally created for myself. So this morning I was listening to Richard Rudd speaking about the transit gates for this week. It's gate 49, I think it was. And he had this awesome message about like our needs and how often our needs are stopping us from really enjoying our lives and just like living our lives to the fullest, right? And something like a simple example was the coffee example that he brought up. So if I don't get my cup of coffee in the morning, I'm grumpy all day, and that basically changes the vibration of the entire day. So I was just like, and he was speaking about things like food as well, because one thing that I noticed while we were in the jungle, we fasted quite a few days while I was there, while working with the plant medicine, and how my body didn't actually need as much food as I thought it needed, or how I didn't actually need as much water as I thought I needed. So it was quite an interesting dynamic to start tuning into the things that I thought I needed, which I didn't. Okay, so when I got back home, I started changing things like every morning we'd have a cup of tea and a rusk. And when I got back home, I'm like, cool, I'll have the tea, but I'm not going to have the rusk. And how's that going to change things? And then it ended up like, oh, I don't actually need that. And so every time I'm like looking at something, I'm like, do I actually need this? Okay, and how is it going to change? So, what I'm trying to just bring into your awareness here is start thinking about and I'm going to call them rituals because like drinking tea and eating a rusk in the morning is a ritual for me, right? Drinking your cup of coffee in the morning is a ritual for you. Always having a snack in the afternoon is a ritual for some people, right? Like it's all those type of things. So when we start understanding where that need comes from, that can start changing things. So that awareness of the needs within us can really start shifting the way that we show up because then it determines our mood, it determines how we feel about the day, etc., etc. So I was so inspired by it because I was like, shit, this is it. Like when I start analyzing, I need this. It has to be in a certain way. If I don't get that, I'm going to be angry or things are going to be, like in turmoil in my life. Why do I need this? Why is it important to me? What is it that my solar plexus is telling me? Okay, so I've been doing a lot of tuning into my habits and using like my gut as a guide. So I'm like, well, do I need to do this? And then I'll be like, no, I don't need to do this. What is it that I actually need right now? Okay, so these things are really important because it takes away the probability of shit going wrong. Okay, if your life is simpler and there's less of these little structures and these little control points, what's going to happen? It's going to become easier. It's going to become more fluid. It's not going to become so boxed in. Okay, because we box ourselves in with our little beliefs that I have to have coffee to wake up in the morning or I have to have this. And the minute that you get into a situation where you don't need any of that stuff, it changes everything. Okay, so take a moment today to step into that awareness and go and check out, like when you pick up that cup of coffee in the afternoon, do I really need this? do I really need to do this? You know, like for me, it's just like if I'm standing there in front of the cookie jar, do I really need this right now? No, I don't. What am I trying to fill here? What is the need? What is the actual need of what is happening here with me and my body? Okay. And let your body tell you, let your body guide you. Because I've been having so much fun standing in front of the supermarket shelves going, what fruits am I going to buy today? And I'll be like, ooh, okay, that one feels good in my tummy. This one does not feel good, right? So it's like all of this, we become more aware of what our body needs. And then we basically move to the point where we go, okay, what is it that my soul needs? Do I need to meditate today? Do I need to go for a walk today? Do I need to sit down and journal today? What is it that my soul actually needs? So if we take the body and the soul needs, this is like a really fun experiment. So if you have some time, just start tuning into it, because there's a lot of shadow work that can be done here. And there's a lot of stuff where we can see where our own rigidity is stopping us from actually moving into spaces and places where there's expansion, where there's possibility for just for openness within ourselves. Okay. So yeah, so my challenge to you, and let me know, like, tell me a little bit about like what's your stuff that you do that you like, you know, you're quite rigid about. Like, why are you rigid about it? Have a think about it and just step into that space of like, okay, well, what would happen if I changed it? What if I changed that habit to something that is actually better? Instead of having like 7 cups of coffee a day, what if I started drinking some herbal tea and you know, like all of those type of things. So just start analyzing and looking, because thinking of these things, it creates a beautiful awareness in us to see where we're stopping ourselves doing stuff. Okay, so that's just my message for today. It is going to be new moon, I think, tomorrow as well. Well, tonight, tomorrow. And I will be dropping a nice little meditation just to help you with that as well. So I'm sending much love. Have a fantastic day. And if you haven't watched the Ecuador Experience replay yet, go and check it out. It's really cool. It was so much fun to just talk about it and just share. And I've had such beautiful feedback. So go and check it out. Okay, have a fabulous day.